Welcome, healthcare professionals in Anatomy Student Zone with Dr. Saida Sara. Today, I will explore the anatomy of a nasal cavity that is not just a passage for a air, but it is complex, multifunctional system that plays key role in how we breathe, smell, and even filter out bad stuff. So, all these activities or a function of a nasal cavity, it starts as the air enters in our nostrils, and not only it just ends working here, but it keeps on functioning as this air travels through the twists and the turns of our nose. And what these twists and the turns are, you know very well. These are the turbinates, and what turbinates are, I will explain all this in the lateral wall of nose. So besides all these function of a nasal cavity, there are the lot of clinicals related to a nasal cavity. And one of them is rhinitis. And you know very well, rhinitis is an inflammation of a nasal mucous membrane that can be due to allergies. Allergies can be due to pollen, dust, or mites. Or this rhinitis can be due to non-allergic conditions as well, like environmental factors, infection, or irritants. Another clinical that is related to nasal cavity is a nasal polyps, which are non-cancerous outgrowth, and these growths develop in the lining of a nasal cavity or a nasal sinuses, and of course when they are going to develop over here, they obstruct the airflow. So polyps can be due to chronic inflammation, and it whenever the patient are having polyps, they're having difficulty in a breathing, reduced sense of smell, and there are also chances of recurrent sinus infection as well. So besides the rhinitis and the polyps, you will also aware of a deviated nasal septum or a DNS. And what septum is? It's a partition that is going to divide two nostrils, and today I will cover anatomy of a nasal septum as well. You should also know about a one surgical procedure that I'm telling you right now, and it's a septoplasty. So, septoplasty is a surgical procedure to correct deviated nasal septum that improves the airflow through a nose. So, purpose of telling you all these clinical is how important this nasal cavity is. It's important doesn't end here. In fact, you should know if someone is having infections of a nasal cavity, and if these infections go untreated, they may spread to anterior cranial fossa. They may also spread to a nasopharynx, paranasal sinuses, middle ear, even to a lacrimal apparatus and a conjunctiva. But how all this is going to happen, it's an incredible anatomy that I will cover today. So let's start. As we know, nose is divided into external nose and an internal nose or a nasal cavity proper. External nose I have already covered, and a nasal cavity proper that I will cover today is also known as nasal fossa. So nasal cavity is divided into right and the left cavity by means of nasal septum. These right and the left nasal cavity open anteriorly to face through the two nares, and posteriorly these cavities communicate with the nasopharynx by means of a two aperture that we name as guana. So guana and the concha, they are the two different things. So guana are the opening or aperture that is going to communicate these cavities to a posteriorly. So simply I can say each nasal cavity is having anterior and a posterior aperture that we name as nares and a guana. So besides the anterior and the posterior aperture, each nasal cavity is having its roof, floor, lateral, and a medial wall. You can see here, this is a 3D image that is going to show a nasal cavity, its roof, floor, medial wall or a nasal septum, and lateral wall. So before I describe the wall of a nasal cavity in a detail, you should know that there are 12 cranial bones in total that contribute to a nasal cavity structure. And what these bones are? These are the paired one and the unpaired one. Paired bones that contribute to a nasal cavity, these are nasal bone, maxilla, palatine, and a lacrimal bone. While if I talk about a unpaired bone which are going to contribute to a nasal cavity, these are ethmoid, sphenoid, frontal, and vomer bone. And you know, among all of them, the ethmoid bone is most important element for two reasons. I will say, first, it makes the greatest portion of a nasal skeleton framework, by forming the roof and the walls of a nasal cavity. And second, the ethmoid bone contains the ethmoid air cells. So, ethmoid air cells or ethmoidal sinuses, these are the cavities in a bone, and it is a one of the four paranasal sinuses, which are the paired one. So, besides this, we are also having frontal, maxillary, and a sphenoidal sinus. So, now I will describe the walls of a nasal cavity one by one. In this image, lateral wall of a nose, roof, and the floor is shown. Why lateral wall I'm saying, and I'm not going to say as a medial wall, because we can see turbinates over here. In medial wall, there are no turbinates because you know very well that the medial wall is formed by means of a nasal septum, as you can see here. So this is an image showing you a lateral and a medial wall of a nose in comparison, and I'm pretty sure that you can identify these walls on a model as well on these bases, that the lateral wall will be having turbinates, where the medial wall or a nasal septum is also made up of bone and the cartilage, which bone and the cartilage I will cover later on. In both images, you can also observe a roof and a floor of a nasal cavity. So if you are having image of a lateral wall, there will be a roof and a floor, of course. And if you are having medial wall or a nasal septum, there will be a roof and a floor, of course, in that as well. So if I talk about the roof of a nasal cavity and the bones that are going to form roof of a nasal cavity, I will say, I will, or I can say, I will recommend you to remember this in this way. So front part, central part, and a back or a posterior part mean which bones are going to form a front part, which bones are going to form the central part of a roof, and the which bones are going to form the back or a posterior part of a roof. So I will cover in this way. Bones that form the front of a roof, these are the nasal bone and the nasal spine of frontal bone. Or simply, I can say frontonasal bones, because frontal and the nasal bones are going to take part, but the frontal bone is not totally taking part, just the nasal spine is going to contribute in a front part of roof. So the bones which are going to form the central part of roof, you can see here, these are ethmoid, and specifically which part of ethmoid, I will say it's a cribriform plate of ethmoid that is going to form roof in a central part. So at back we can see sphenoid bone over here. So in this way the roof, front, central part and the back is formed by these bones. And you know, from a roof, infection can spread to anterior cranial fossa. After covering the roof, now I will cover the floor of a nasal cavity. And you can see here it's formed by the hard palate. And how hard palate is formed? Hard palate is formed by two bones, palatine bone and maxilla bone. So you can see here in this image, maxilla bone is shown as a red and a palatine bone is shown as blue. You can also observe both maxilla and the palatine bone, they are having lot of parts. Mean maxilla is also having multiple parts and palatine is also having multiple parts. But important to know here is not whole maxilla and not whole palatine bone contributes in a formation of hard palate. In fact, palatine process of maxilla and the horizontal plate of palatine bone, it forms the hard palate, as you can see. Or I can also say floor of a nasal cavity is formed by the palatine process of a maxilla and the horizontal plate of palatine bone. After describing the roof and the floor of a nasal cavity, now I will explain you the medial wall of a nasal cavity that we also name as a nasal septum. So the nasal septum or the medial wall, please remember it, same thing. So you have to remember here is nasal septum divides the chamber of a nose into two nasal cavity. So it is formed by the both bone and cartilage. Like we had seen roof and the floor, it was formed totally by means of bones. But if I talk about a nasal septum, it's formed by means of both bone and cartilage. So anterior part of a nasal septum is formed by means of a soft mobile cartilaginous part, and the posterior part of nasal septum is formed by means of bones. So important here is that you should know about the name of a cartilages and the name of a bones which are going to form the nasal septum. So first I will tell you about a bones forming a nasal septum. And later on, I will tell you about a cartilages that are going to form nasal septum. So the bony part of a nasal septum is mainly formed by two bones. And what these bones are? These are ethmoid bone and vomer bone. So ethmoid bone shown here is an is purple, and it is going to form the superior part of a nasal septum. And you can see vomer is shown here as in green, and it is going to form inferior, or I can also say a postero-inferior part of nasal septum. So, but again, you can observe here just the perpendicular plate of ethmoid bone forms the nasal septum superiorly, not whole the ethmoid bone. So, just it's that part that I have mentioned you. We can also see here in this image that vomer is not having any parts. So, as a whole, this bone contributes in a formation of a nasal septum inferiorly or postero-inferiorly. Besides these two bone, which were ethmoid and the vomer, which were going to form a nasal septum, there are also minor contribution from other bones as well. And these are, you can see, nasal bone, frontal bone, sphenoid, maxilla, and palatine bone. So after describing the bones of a nasal septum, if I talk about next about a cartilages that are going to form a nasal septum, you can say anteriorly between the bones of a septum, the gap is filled by means of a sheet of cartilage. And you know this sheet of a cartilage is septal cartilage. So septal cartilage forms the nasal septum anteriorly, and you know very well that the septum cartilage is hyaline cartilage. And actually, this hyaline cartilage, that is a septal cartilage, which is going to form a nasal septum anteriorly, it is unossified part of ethmoid bone. So, if the ethmoid bone is going to be unossified in anterior part, it is going to form septal cartilage. But again, I will ask which part of ethmoid bone remains unossified and it forms a septal cartilage. Then you can see clearly it is a perpendicular plate of ethmoid bone that remains unossified, and it is going to form a septal cartilage. Not just one wall of a nasal cavity is left, and that is its lateral wall. I will describe the lateral wall of a nose in detail in the next part, because there are a lot of things that I have to cover in that detailed anatomy I will cover. But before I say you a goodbye, I would like to tell you about the walls that I have described you, like roof, floor, and a medial wall or a nasal septum on a models and the CT cross section as well. So this is a model showing the roof, floor, and a nasal septum. You can observe here, roof is formed anteriorly by a nasal bone and a frontal bone, and frontal bone part over here is nasal spine of frontal bone, or simply frontonasal bone is going to form this roof. So bones forming the central part of a roof, these are ethmoid bone and specifically cribriform plate of ethmoid bone. Posteriorly, you can see here on this model that the back of roof is formed by sphenoid bone. You can also observe a floor of a nasal cavity in this model that is formed by a hard palate, and you know hard palate is formed by two bone, palatine bone and maxilla. So this is a palatine process of maxilla, and this one is horizontal plate of palatine bone, which are going to form a hard palate or a floor of nasal cavity. So lastly, I will describe the bones and the cartilages which are forming the nasal septum on this model. And you can identify the bony part of a septum is mainly formed by the two bones, and I'm sure you can identify these are the ethmoid bone and vomer bone. So this is a perpendicular plate of ethmoid bone that is going to form a nasal septum superiorly, and this is vomer bone that is going to form a nasal septum inferiorly or postero-inferiorly. You can also observe on this model that anteriorly between the two bones, the septum is filled by means of a cartilage, and this cartilage is septal cartilage. So, besides the two major bones, we can also observe a minor bones which are going to contribute to a nasal septum, and you can see here these are nasal bone, frontal, sphenoid, maxilla, and palatine bone. You can also observe a nasal septum and its anatomy that I described on this midline sagittal section of a CT image as well. Sure, you can identify the bones and you can also identify the cartilages which are going to form the nasal septum over here. Hope the efforts I put for you, it will help you not only in exam, but I'm sure they will also help you on a clinical side as well. So in the next part, I will come up with the lateral wall of a nose, its detailed anatomy with the clinical relevance. Till then, please don't forget to hit on a bell icon, like button, and please subscribe this channel, that is Anatomy Student Zone, for upcoming video as well. Be happy, enjoy learning with Anatomy Student Zone and Dr. Saida Sara. Have a great day.